Beautiful Desolation. It is nothing like what I expected from it. Judging by the screenshots, I thought it's going to be a classic Fallout-like affair with some sci-fi elements to it, but no, it is actually quite an original and nuanced game, at least at this day and age. First thing I was surprised by is that it's not a classic RPG, but an adventure game. There is almost no combat at all, and most time is spent going around talking to NPCs and collecting items, all the while taking in the gorgeous hand-drawn scenery. The whole game looks amazing. The art style is rough and a bit cartoony. All the backgrounds are quite nicely done and detailed, but it can get a bit confusing sometimes because it wasn't always obvious over which parts I could walk and which ones were pure background. But even though the backgrounds are amazing, as I said, the thing that drew me in are the character designs. They are so exotic and more often than not odd looking, even over-designed at times, but never unappealing to the eye. Their bizarre looks and twitchy movements during the conversations along with the amazing sound work really go a long way to immerse the player in its world. It seems that the developer drew most inspiration from the pulp fiction of the last century. It actually even looks like something that you could see on the cover of a €10 sci-fi novel at an airport. But as those novels are there to bridge the time on your flight, so does this game offer something light but filled with enough originality to keep you interested for a while without being so stuck up as to start conversations about things like the meaning of life. No, this game is more interested in showing off its crazy world and telling its odd but compelling story. And oh boy, does it have a story to tell. It is hard to explain what it is about without spoiling, since even after playing through it, I don't really understand too much about it myself. But it can all be boiled down to this. Beautiful Desolation is a story about an Australian man getting lost in an alien world and seemingly not even noticing because I guess Australia is just that weird. The story is shown through amazingly rendered cinematics at major moments of the game, but it actually is not the main method of storytelling. Most of the plot dumps are given by the inhabitants of this crazy world, and they are amazing and quite quirky at times. One of the standouts is a character that speaks in this thick Jamaican accent that is so out of place, but the main character just goes with it. He doesn't even bat an eye when coming across crucified robots or talking skulls with their skin stretched in unnatural ways. It is just a crazy trip. I guess we are supposed to take the main character seriously, which I just could not do due to his accent. And I think it's hilarious. I imagined two people in the office and one asking, so how do we let the players know that this guy is Australian, and the other one replying with, well, just let him say wanker or fuck a lot. Also, his pure lack of acknowledgement for the crazy stuff that goes on around him is unsettling. I feel like he should have asked things like, what the fuck are you, where the fuck am I, or pardon me, what do you even eat around here? It is probably because I'm not from Australia, where this is more normal or like a everyday how-to guide than actual fiction. The playable areas in the game are not at large, nor open, but they are dense with content. There is barely any part of the game that isn't used for background storytelling through either pure visuals or small text descriptions of what the artist just couldn't put in the game. Like when it describes a rusted over car entangled in plants lazily rustling in the wind. I love that. These days, games are able to show everything we want in amazing 4K 60 FPS, making the text boxes like these obsolete. But they have been re-emerging in the past few years, either because it is easier to do it or nostalgia, but no matter why, I still like it. It is like the difference between a book or a movie version of it. No matter how much work is put into it, some people will just prefer one or the other. All in all, Beautiful Desolation is quite a fun game, and it is something that I really needed right now. A game that I could just turn on and play for a while without thinking too much about it or worrying about gameplay. If you are looking for a relaxed, modern-day retro adventure game, or if you are a fan of old-school Fallout aesthetics, this could well be the game for you. Thank you so much for watching, and consider throwing down a like. Bye!
Don't fucking threaten me, Tin Can.